and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Okay guys, and now we're going to welcome again, and now we're going to talk about the location of Valhalla, as I promised you in the last video, because this is a very special thing. I mentioned this also in my Pyramids book if you wanted it in more detail, a tiny bit more detail. Check it out in there, but here I'm going to show you the location of Valhalla. So in the previous video we talked about the confluence of different rivers and so forth, and in this video we're going to and we said that was the location of the Kump, or the Cup. I would call it the Cup of Life Festival. That's what I'm calling it, the Cup of Life, because this Kump was a cauldron of eternal life which mixed together at the confluence of different rivers, right? And the Indians, they go here, they pile into the river in their millions, and they sometimes stampede each other. Unfortunately, there have been stampedes, there have been wars fought over this festival, but they all go into the river to wash away the sins, and it's ancient fertility ritual. And I said, look, there's this place in Germany, called Syburg, and the same thing is happening. And we have the rivers splitting up, and I said I was going to show you Valhalla, so I'm going to show you Valhalla. So Valhalla is basically the same as Asgard. Asgard it was a place where the dead were laid to rest. It was a cemetery, in other words. And here we have this place in the Rhineland, in Germany, in Deutschland, called Hohensyburg. And Hohensyburg is called, it's High Victory Hill. That's what it means. Hochseeburg, High Victory Hill. And I mentioned that we have this thing called the Kaiser Wilhelm Denkmal, and here is the Kaiser basically on his horse. That's there he is. It's quite a nice picture actually. There he is on his horse. This was built just before, I believe, the First World War. Not after the First World War, because the Kaiser was deposed. So this is before the war. It's still there, you know. And this is a hill. You park down here, and it's do you see it in 3D? Do you see how it's moving? It's a nice big hill, right? And I got a friend or two in Germany, historians, and they told me this. They told me this. I didn't come up with this. They told me this. They said this is the location of Asgard, and I'm saying, well, that means it's also the location of Valhalla, which is the same thing. Valhalla means fall hall, fallen, the hall of the fallen, basically. It's something on a hill in the distance like this, according to this 19th century representation. And the thing is, so one of my friends was saying this was the location of Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is the tree at the center of the world. And I'm actually going to prove this is an incredibly ancient site. This is the location of Yggdrasil, the location of Valhalla. Charles, you seem very sure? I'm damn sure. And so one of my friends said, look, this is the location of Valhalla. It showed me some Bronze Age ruins on the site, and mentioned that also some other German historians are aware of this, but everyone's working privately and they're not quite sure, and no one lets anyone dig anything. You know how nanny state it is over in the whole of Europe, and but this is the thing. This is not Valhalla. Valhalla is close to this, right? Very close. Now, Valhalla was a place of, it was a hall where the dead were laid to rest near a golden tree, the glacier, and the whole ceiling is thatched with golden shields. It's basically a large tomb, right? And it's where the German heroes and all this were laid to rest. And the thing about this place here is the Saxons under King Widukind defended this place to the death basically. What happened was, now the Saxons had a terrible enemy during the Dark Ages. They had a Christian enemy, and you might know his name. His name is Charlemagne. Charlemagne, the Great Charles. And Charlemagne was crazy. And he was trying to get these Saxons under his thumb. And we all know how invincible he was. And he laid siege to the Saxons at this place, possibly at this place. And we actually don't know where the siege happened. It was a Saxon king called Widukind. And the siege, it could have happened anywhere. We don't know where it is. But I was told it is likely that it happened here. Widukind, also known as Widuking, Wittekind was a leader of the Saxons, chief opponent of the Frankish king Charlemagne during the Saxon Wars from 777 to 785. Charlemagne ultimately prevailed, organised Saxony as a Frankish province, massacred thousands of Saxon nobles and ordered conversions of the pagan Saxons to Roman Catholicism. And you know, the other thing that Charlemagne did at the place, he destroyed the tree, the Yggdrasil. It was the biggest tree in the Germanic world, and it was the center of the world. It was that tree. It was that tree of their Eden. It was the one tree that had been there since the beginning of time. So in 782, Widukind returned from Denmark, goaded the Saxon nobles into rebellion. Charlemagne had 4,500 Saxons executed. Widukind allied with the Frisians, basically the Dutch. There's a joke about Frisians not talking to each other, and their guest who says one or two things is talking too much and they don't want to travel with him again. That's Frisians, very tall Atlanteans possibly. But here's the thing, guys. Widukind appeared to agree to surrender in return for a guarantee no bodily harm would be done to him. He and his allies were then baptized. Charlemagne as a godfather. We don't know what happened to him after that. Other people say, look, he was killed. And the thing is that Charlemagne destroyed a temple there, and he destroyed the tree. And we don't know where it happened. But the thing about this place is, over here, we have this very large round hill. It's a very large round hill. And I always thought, this looks like an artificial burial mound to me. And it has a name. And the name of this hill is Asenberg. Asenberg. And it means God. It means one of the gods. Asgard, it means one of the gods in Norse. So this is therefore the hill of the gods. So right next to this possibly fabulously important thing where you have an incredibly old St. Peter's church. There's even sigils on the gravestones here, just unbelievable. You have this double hill, and this is called Asenberg. This is the hill of the gods. I don't know if there are any other of these in Germany, but if this was the location of the battle where the Yggdrasil was, this might be Valhalla. I think this is Valhalla. To me, this is not a normal looking hill. It looks very much like a burial mound, like a tumulus, but on an epic scale. I think this is the home of the fallen warriors, Valhalla. And there's more, guys, which points to an incredibly ancient age to me, because if we look at the general area and we move down here, I was just looking and I saw something really fascinating. I was just looking around here, and I saw something which really stood out to me considerably. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Yeah, it's this. It's I'm not quite sure what to make of this, and it looks like there might be another one here, but that is really weird to me. That looks like the 10,000-year-old stone circle in Victoria. Wadi Yuang, which looks like that basically, and it faces, that's facing west. So it's a fan facing west, equinox, and these are the solstices. And you look along the lines on the solstice and towards the sunset. And this sort of fan shape you got in 10,000 BC. And here we have the same thing happening. And it's the same kind of weird circle. The stones are all gone. There's no stones here. It's just trees left. This isn't some kind of weird field. Look, it's a symmetrical looking thing, and I know it's a stone circle because you've even got a road going through the middle, just like at Avebury. There was actually a road in ancient times going right through Stonehenge as well. This is how the roads, the ley lines, they went through ancient sites. In Ireland, you see the same thing. You drive through a witch circle. In England, you drive through a henge. The road goes right through the middle. Here we've got a north-south road cutting right through, just like a north-south road cuts through Avebury. What is it pointing to? I think these are pointing to the solstices. That's pointing to the equinox, east-west. And here we've got some kind of north-south religion happening as well, which would correlate to the third dynasty in Egypt, which is really interesting. You know, this is amazing. So to me, that's an extremely archaic-looking stone monument. So Dr. Charles discovers ancient former stone monument in Germany, maybe one of the biggest, although the stones seem to have disappeared. Nearby, what he claims is Asgard or Valhalla. So guys, what do you think about that? I reckon we should dig there and get all the treasure. I hope those bloody Germans don't get that Deutsche Anarab up and running again and get the Holy Grail out of there. Anyway guys, cheerio. Now, do you know what? I've written a couple books. One of them is probably the best ancient astronauts, one of the best ancient astronauts books ever written. It's called Confessions of the Gods. Check it out, Kindle or paperback on Amazon. And also a pyramids book. The pyramids book is basically, well, it's 137 photos of sites you can visit in Europe, which are prototypes of pyramids. That's an amazing book. It's much deeper reading than the other book, Confessions, but check them out on Kindle and paperback. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. And also hit me up on Patreon. Cheers. Bye-bye.